Hi there, welcome to Elm Colors. I'm Erica. On today's video, we are doing part 3, I think. Yes, part 3 of our monthly color along. We are working in Tales from the Forest Kingdom by Hanna Karlzon. And this is what we've gotten done so far. And hopefully you can see all of that. Just a little bit maybe at the bottom off the screen. So I had said the last video, I think, that I was going to be done with Inktense, but I am not, because I still have quite a few of the flowers around the bottom here, and then several leaves up here too that I want to get done. And I just think that the Inktense will make it go a lot faster. So we're going to get started first with the flowers at the bottom, and I'm going to go ahead and put okay, and I have picked 3 orange kind of colors to do the flowers because I decided that I don't use nearly enough orange. I think if you look at every pencil set that I own, the orange ones are the ones that are neglected the most. So we're going to use some orange. It's fall, lots of orange everywhere. So I have grabbed burnt orange, mid-vermilion, and Scilian yellow. And you'll notice that this Scilian yellow is getting used quite a bit in this page. But if you look at the color chart, you can see that it's just a more muted tone compared to everything else, all of these other bright, vibrant colors. And so that kind of helps, it lends itself to these fall colors. Yeah, I'm going to do a lot of the burnt orange, a little of the mid-vermilion, and a little bit of the Scilian yellow. So we'll get started down here in the corner. I'm going to move my tea out of the way. And I'm going to do a few flowers right in here, and then I'm going to speed color the rest so that you guys can see that. But like I said, I'm going to start, I'm going to start with the mid-vermilion. And we're just going to have that color be down at the base of the flower, close to the inside there. And then we're going to do this burnt orange color through most of the flower petal. And then I'm going to do a little bit on this part, and then I'm just going to do some of the Scilian yellow right at the tips of the flower here. So there's not really a whole lot of room to do it there, but and then I'll do a couple more just so you can kind of see that again. And then when I go through and do the shading with the pencils, I will probably end up adding in just a few little lines of texture here and there, but not too much else to these flowers, because I've got so much of the color down already on the page. Okay, let's get that. So that first one was the mid-vermilion. This is burnt orange. And then a little bit of the Scilian yellow on the tips. All right, let me grab my water brush. I'm still using this awesome Arteza one. I also need to grab my cloth just in case I need to dab off. Okay, so same process. I'm going to start at the edges and kind of push that color, that is a lot of color, back into the center part of the flower. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to get all of these flowers done. And like I said, I'll have that sped up so you guys can see how that goes. And then we'll do the leaves, and then hopefully we'll be able to get to some pencils. I know I had said in a previous video that I was hoping that this wouldn't be more than 4 parts. I'm pretty sure it's going to be more than 4 parts. Because I know once I get to the pencil work, that always ends up taking me longer than I expect it will. But we'll just see how we do. All right, I like this color. It's very fall-like. I could have made these even more fall-like if I had done like a brown of some sort on the around the base of the flower, but it's really close in color to the tops of these other. Might need to add some more orange to that one. I mean, some more red, not orange. Okay, let me get these all activated here. Yeah, I wanted them to kind of stand out a little bit more from the mushrooms because I didn't want it to be, I don't want them to blend together, but those are looking very, very close. So what I might need to do, I'm just going to test it out with a colored pencil because I think that I'll be able to adjust that pretty well. I'm going to grab, where is it? Okay, so I've got one of my Polychromos pencils, and this is Madder, which is number 142. It's a nice dark red, and I'm just going to attempt to add in some of that red color to the top of the mushroom here and see if I will be able to make that a little bit more red instead of orange. Yeah, I think that'll be all right. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, that's good. All right, I just wanted to see because I know that once I get over into this area, I've got lots more of the same colors kind of going on. So, okay, so I'm going to get the rest of the flowers done. So these little petals on the side here, I'm considering those all flowers, and then I've got, you know, all the way across to the other side of the book here. So I am going to get those all colored in and activated with the water, and I will speed that all up so that you guys can see that process, and then we will get started on the leaves that I still want to work on. So I will talk to you guys again in a second. Flowers are done. So now I'm going to work on the leaves. And to do the leaves, I have a couple of different greens. I've got iron green, light olive, and felt green. Which now that I'm thinking about it, I might switch a little bit around. This is always a hard thing for me because I want it to be a little bit darker than this background. So it's kind of why I went for the felt, but I also want it to be a little more olivey. But I have these leaves, and then I have a few stems for flowers that I'll have to color in, but those could probably be done with pencils. Yeah, that's what I think I'll probably do with those. Okay, so using the green, that's what I'm gonna do. Yep, those 3 greens I said. Sorry about that little trip, guys. Okay, so we have iron green, light olive, and felt green. And I will show you, just like I did before, a couple of leaves, and then we'll go for there. So I'm going to use, what do I want to use first? I'm going to use this iron green anywhere where there's going to be shadow. Then I will use the felt green. Pretty much over the whole leaf, and then the light olive in certain places. Yeah, I think that's how I'm going to do it. So these will be a little darker than the background and the frog, especially with that iron green added in. And then I can always go back through and add, yeah, add shading if I need to. All right, let's get one more leaf colored in. I hope you guys can see that. I was kind of blocking that with my... So I did the iron green. Now I'm using the felt green over top of everything. And then adding in the light olive in a couple of spots just to kind of help change that tone a little bit. And then we will... When my... towel is starting to get all kinds of colors. Okay, so let's get going on this. And again, it's the same process of starting in the lighter areas and pushing down into the dark so that that nice dark green kind of ends up in the shadows. All right, I think that'll work. And I think that I'm going to end up doing like all of the branches and stuff in a brown with the colored pencils. So this is way watery than it has been the other times I've used it. So I'm not sure if I'm doing something different or it's just acting different. I'm not sure what's going on with it, but just make sure that, you know, if you have a water brush that does that, just make sure you have paper towels or a towel on hand to help correct any mistakes that you might have. Okay. All right, so that's pretty much what the leaves are going to look like. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to get all of those colored and then activate that all. And I'll probably show you some. I don't know if I'm going to show you the whole thing, but I'll speed color some of it, and then we might just cut to them all being done. So I will talk to you guys again in a minute. Okay, so we've got all of the leaves done. And now that I'm looking at this, these little berries kind of look like, they look a little bit more like tiny little lemons, but that's okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get into some pencil work. And when I do pencils, I'm gonna start from this side and go this way, since I am right-handed, and that way I'm not dragging my hand through all of the pencil work that I've just done. So we're gonna start up in this corner, and my idea for these little flowers up here is I'm going to take, so I've got my Polychromos color chart here, and I'm gonna find, I think I wanted to use these reds here. So this is Pompeiian red and Indian red, and I think I want to use those to add a little bit of shading to these flowers. So actually I think I'm going to zoom you in a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Hang on just a sec. Okay, and now it'll just be on me to hopefully remember to make sure that I'm in frame. So we're going to start on this flower up at the top here, and I've got Pompeiian red and India red. So I'm going to start with the Pompeiian red, and I'm just going to add in a little bit of shading in between the little, what are those, stamen, I think. Just a little bit in there, and then I'm going to take the India red and add it in to where the darkest bits would be. And then one more time back over top with the Pompeiian red, just to blend it out a little bit. Try to give it a little bit of a smooth blend. There we go. And then on the outside of the flower, I think what I want to do is I'm going to take my India red first, and starting at the base of the flower, I'm just going to do several lines up, and then when the flower starts to curve, I'm going to do lines that way as well. But these are very light, they're not dark, it's just giving a little bit of texture to the flower. I'm doing the same thing with the Pompeiian red. I'm going to just have that be on the outside, I think. I might add a little bit more right into the areas where those lines are. So it looks like it's shaded a little bit right there. Okay. All right, there's that. And then for the inside, I am going to be using, I think, typically they're white, right, on the inside. So I'm going to do a little bit of gray shading, and then anywhere where there is color coming over the top, I'll just use my white Posca to kind of make that look a little bit better. Let me grab this warm gray here. So that is, which one is that? What did I say? Warm gray. So I've got warm gray 3. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and put my Posca over top of the areas that have the white showing through now. And this is just me covering up my messy coloring earlier, so we can have these little guys be nice and white. Okay, I might give that a chance to dry actually. Let me do the same thing up in this corner, and then maybe by the time we get back to the other one, it'll be nice and dry. Oops. Okay. All right, let's try to add in the color right here. So I'm just going to take this warm gray, and I'm just adding it in the shadow areas. And then anywhere where things kind of overlap, these little guys overlap at all. I probably will have to add a little bit of a darker color because this one is just a little light. So let me grab, I'm gonna grab the warm gray 5 and see if that kind of helps at all. Yeah, that helps. Okay, there we go. So there we go. There's our first little flower. I'm gonna do the same thing to this guy. I'm gonna go ahead and actually I'm gonna extend this Pompeiian red out almost to the edge because I want this flower to be more pinky red than orange. Do the same on the insides of the flower as well. All right, and then I might add just one more darker color just so it's nice and deep and dark in there. And I'm gonna use, so this color is called I want to say Caput, but it's not, probably not that. It's probably Caput mortuum violet, maybe. I'm going to add that right down in the little darkest areas down in there. Okay. All right. So let's do this flower. So I'll do that one again. I'm going to use, since we don't have the inside part to do, I am just going to go ahead and start with the India red, and I'm just going to do like a flicking motion up this way, and then when the flower petals turn, do a little bit of a turn with the petal. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with the Pompeiian red. Okay, and then with the India red again, I'm going to add in those little bit darker sections. So it looks like maybe that's in a shadow a little bit. Might actually work with this Caput mortuum too. That actually does work pretty good. So this is basically just me adding in a little bit of shading here and there on this flower. I'm gonna add that India red back over top of that color I just put on. And then we'll go over here to this side. Sorry if the camera is shaky. It's when I zoom in this close, it tends to want to be shakier, a little on the shaky side. So I have to be really careful not to move. All right, how do we feel about that? I think that's looking okay. I do want to extend that color a little bit onto the tips. And I did get a little bit of pencil there, so we'll just erase that out. All right, and then those don't need to be cleaned up too much, so we're just gonna go in, I'm gonna go in and start with the warm gray 5. Okay, and then just shade out from that with the warm gray 3. that flower done. Now I'm going to use these two colors for the leaves and the stem. So I've got olive green yellowish, and this one is, I think this is earth green yellowish. Yes, that's what that is. So I'm going to do, first I'm just going to do an all over layer with that earth green yellowish. So I'm just going to cover the entire leaves with that color. And then use the, what did I call this one? Olive green yellowish as the darker color. So anywhere where the shadows would be is where that's going to go. Okay, and then back over top with the lighter color. All right, and then the last thing that I'm going to do to add a little bit so that it kind of comes back into these tones, I'm going to add, hopefully this will work, I'm going to add this grass green, which is 166. And I'm just going to color right over top of that, everything that I already put down with that grass green. I wanted to try to have the leaves on these flowers be a little more brownish green, but I think that needs to come back. It was just a little too far on that side. All right, so that is the color scheme that we're going to use for the leaves and the flower. So I think what I will do is maybe I'll do one more set of leaves and flowers down here. And actually, I think this time I'm going to start with the grass green. Do a light layer of that over everything. And this, these three colors will probably be what I used for the remaining greenery. So it's going to be for these flowers, and the flowers that are over on the other page. Okay, so now I'm using the earth green yellowish. What number is that? I'm going to say the numbers instead because that's a long name. So 168. Sorry if my hands get in the way here. This is a little tiny pencil. Okay, and I'm going to use number 173. Is that a 3? Oh boy, my eyes. Yeah, 173. I think that's the first time that's happened where I've had to move my head away from what I was trying to read. I'm starting to do that old lady thing where you have to move things back and forth 5,000 times before you can actually see what it says. Let's see, did I get that all in there? That looks pretty good. Okay, and then I'm going to go over top again with that earth green yellowish. And then one more time over everything with the grass green. Okay, so this will be the green that I use for all of the greenery, like I said, these 3 colors. And then I will use also those colors that I used on the flowers up here for the rest of those flowers and the little stamens that are poking out everywhere. And then I'm also going to speed color some of this, but then we'll probably just cut to things being completed for all of you, so you don't have to sit and watch me do every single one of these. Yeah, so I'm gonna get started on that, and I will talk to you guys again in a second. Alright, so I've got all of the flowers on this side done and all of the greenery on this side done. Not these leaves, but like this extra greenery on the flowers and stuff. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side, which I only really have these stems over here, and then these couple of flowers up in the corner. And then I think we'll do these mushrooms really quick. But I'm not going to color these on camera because it's literally the same thing that I did for these couple of flowers, and the same thing for the stems as well. I think we'll color these little mushrooms up here in the corner before we are done for today. What color do we want the stems to be? So definitely going to need the cream. Definitely going to need, I think I'm going to do like a brownie gray. So we're going to use this warm gray 3, and we're going to use, I think, the burnt umber. All right, I've got my colors. Okay, so I have warm gray 3, ivory, and burnt umber. So I'm going to go ahead and add in my darkest color first. Just really lightly where I know that there's going to be shadows. So underneath, underneath the mushroom tops, anywhere where things overlap. And I'm not pushing hard with this. These pencils are definitely a layering pencil, so they work better in light layers than if you just kind of push really hard and try to blend them all together. They don't really work very well that way. So I'm going to get all of these little guys done here. Okay, I'm just going to show you that from here. Okay, so then I'm going to take my warm gray, color right over top of the brown there, and just kind of bring that color down into the rest of the mushroom stalk. And then I'm going to use the cream, or what is this? That's not cream, it's ivory. I keep saying cream. Use the ivory. Actually, I think I am going to use the cream. Let me grab that. I'm pretty sure I have another cream somewhere, but I don't know where it's at right now, so we're going to have to use this little baby one. I'm going to use the cream and go right over top of the colors I already put down. There we go. Okay, so let me do another one just so you can kind of see. So I've got the light brown, or the burnt umber down. I'm using the gray now. Just right over top. I'm blending that color outward a little bit, and then I'm going to take the cream and go right over top of those as well. And then if I want to use that ivory, I can in the center here. So yeah, it's really... I'm just trying to make like a yellowy, browny, neutrally color there for the mushroom stalks. And maybe I won't add just add the cream in where I feel like I want it. It doesn't have to be on every stalk. But yeah, so I'm going to do all of those mushroom stalks the same way, and I will talk to you guys again in a second. Okay, and then on the underside of the mushrooms, I was going to originally make it a different color, but I think I'm just going to make it a darker color of whatever we do up here. So I want to do some red to kind of tie in the red from down here. So let me see what we've got here. I've got this couple of dark reds, so I have this deep red and this middle cadmium red. I think those two would be good colors. That's these two down here at the bottom. And then I'll do this one because I don't think I've ever used it. So this is light cadmium red. So I have light cadmium red, deep red, and middle cadmium red. And I think I want the main part of the mushroom to be this cadmium red color. So we're gonna... Where do I want the orange part to be? Let's do the orange at the tops. So I'm going to add this orange color at the top here. And again, these are blending pencils, so, or not blending pencils, layering pencils. So it's good to layer up your colors. All right, there we go. I like that color scheme. I do want to do a nice dark color under there. So I'm going to actually start off by putting in some mauve, which is this purple color. And then I'm going to use that middle cadmium right over top of it. And that's going to create a nice dark color. Okay, so I think I got that down. So we've got the orange color at the top, this deep red in the middle and towards the bottom. And again, this is a layering pencil, so you're not pushing hard. And your first couple layers are going to look a little wonky. All right, then we've got this deep red color at the bottom. And let's do another layer of everything over top. Okay, and then this purpley color down at the bottom here, and this middle cadmium. Okay, and that's how I'm gonna do these mushrooms. I will be doing those. What are those called? Just the little circles. Gosh, those things, you know, those things. I will be adding a little bit of shading to those. So let me show you that as well. I'm just going to take some black and I'm going to go around the outside of it. Just like that. And then I will gonna add some white on the inside. Pretty much like that. I might do a little bit of, let me see if I can erase what's in, yeah. So again, messy color is to striking, so I'm gonna erase that. I think what I might do is actually add a little bit of shading on the inside of the circles as well. So just a little bit of a hint. So I might actually do that first. So this kind of helps make it look like it's rounded and 3D more than just a white spot on the mushroom. And I'm going to use my white Prismacolor to really, and I'm going to push down decently hard in that area so that if I do end up getting any of the red color onto that spot, that it won't, the color won't go down as much. Since I have that Posca on this one, I need to use a little bit of a darker. All right, we're gonna try that. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do one more mushroom just so we can make sure that we're doing it the right way. So we've got this, what is this one? This is light cadmium red. We're gonna do that at the top. Then we do deep red. Then we'll use the middle cadmium red. And then the middle, or the deep red again. And then the light cadmium red at the top. Okay, and then a little bit of purple in the underneath. And then that deep cadmium, middle cadmium, I guess. Okay, so yeah, so that's how our mushrooms are gonna look. I like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those colored in, and I will talk to you guys again in a second. All right, so I got the mushrooms done, and I just completely disregarded everything I said about trying to work from this side over because I knew that I wanted to get those mushrooms done. But yeah, so now I have this red, the reddish color from the mushrooms down here, also reflected up here. This orangish color is reflected also up in these flowers here. And then the yellow's kind of all in the middle. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with these two flowers here, but I think that's going to be for another day. I am going to finish up these flowers up in the corner the same way I did these. And I'm going to finish the greenery here same way I did the greenery on this side. And that's all I'll do. And then when we come back next time, we'll start working on the next part. One of the nice things to do when you have a 2-page spread like this is to take certain elements and just focus on those. So you'll notice that we did the background first, then we did mushrooms, and then we did berries, and then we did leaves, and then we did flowers. So you just kind of grab big elements that you want to get done, and then you can get the whole thing kind of finished at once. Okay, so I think that's it for today. And then when we come back, I will probably try to, again, start on this side and go this way, but who knows? We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So thank you guys so much for watching today. And I hope that you are enjoying this. I hope that you're coloring along with me. And if you are, make sure to tag me on Instagram, send me a message or an email. I would love to see. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching today. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.